So John, do you remember when we just called it Social Tuesday and we just looked at people's profiles and stuff, like
I
how like
do. I
that's
do.
ancient history, right? Ancient history. And so I don't think I've ever seen Heather with her hair pulled back before. Like it's like a
Yeah, I had to
different
come
person
straight
sat
from my
down.
workout to
Oh,
getting a social post ready to here. So,
oh. Hey,
yeah.
so before you guys show me or talk about or ask or I get to ask anything about more effectively producing content for social media or and so on. I wanted to show you something because I pointed this out, I think, to Dr. V last week. He's not going to be here today.
Yeah.
And he had never heard of it. And if you're using LinkedIn a lot, I don't know how you don't know this. Or rather, it would be super helpful to know it. So, everyone knows that hey, look, Heather, you're live. Or
Yeah.
right, or apparently.
You should
Uh,
tune into me, Dean. I say amazing things.
okay, there you go. I'll try to. So, I mean, everyone knows that
I should tune into you.
LinkedIn messaging is a hot dumpster fire mess, right? I mean, it's just, literally everything you send, and it's like you have an email inbox, but
Yeah.
everything that you receive and everything you send is in your inbox.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
it's just like trash. But I mean, do you guys know? Maybe you guys did. A lot of people don't seem to. Do you guys know that you can filter this to only see the ones that are not read yet?
Hmm.
Because I do hundreds of these messages a week, and I can't imagine not using unread. But Dr. V had never heard of it, and so like you can just like click it and blah blah blah. This guy's booked some time. Armin has booked some time on my calendar. That's done. And then he's just asking a question. I don't think it is. And then and then you just click the X, and you know that everything is read.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if something's not working, there's usually a button somewhere around to do
Yeah.
something with it. But I don't send that as many messages, and mine defaults to having the unreads on the top. At least I thought so.
Yeah. What you can't do is stack filters. So like I
Yeah.
can't pick people
Yeah.
who are my connections and unread or in mail and unread.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It'll only filter on one, but still very helpful.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you might have something down here like 25, 30 messages ago that's unread and you have no idea. It's not like LinkedIn doesn't bubble them up to the top or anything. They're all the only sort by default is time, like
Mm-hmm.
recency. So the most recent one is on top.
Right.
But and so someone could have a whole bunch of people, 5 or 6 people could have sent you something. And if you're on like a smaller screen or if you're on like your phone or iPad, something, then you might not even see more than 7 or 8 of these and think, okay, I'm up. And you scroll down a little bit and there's like 4 of these in a cluster that you've never seen.
Right.
So unread, just click on the little like settings thing here and click on unread, and there's the unread. And hooray, I don't have any unread. I'm all caught up.
How about you?
Right. Oh, by the way, I noticed something today.
Yeah.
Check out this. This is growing like
Ooh,
crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I guess.
This
nice.
was only 6,000 like a month ago.
Right.
Nice.
So there you go. Still chugging along. All right, that's it for sharing for me. How do I turn off the sharing? Oh, it's not sharing. There we go. Okay. Oh my, it's been crazy. What a week. What a weekend.
I know.
How
I know.
about you guys?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah. I got COVID, so
Yeah.
Oh,
Again?
again.
No.
But so far, no long COVID
No.
symptoms. So I'm feeling optimistic about it. But the forest fire just to the east of here was not helpful and has been
Right.
just dumping smoke into the valley I live in. And so
Oh,
it's been the cough is taking its time going away because I continue to breathe
Yeah.
poisonous particulates.
Yeah, that's not
yeah.
helpful.
I can catch the raspy voice.
Yeah.
The voice
It's
a
my
little
chain smoking voice.
more raspier than usual.
My smelly cat. It's time for
I mean,
me to hit the cabaret.
evolutionary wise, coughing, makes sense if you do it once or twice, but it's one of those silly symptoms where the coughing makes it harder to recover from coughing
Yeah.
Yes.
because you're just like, whoa, and it's all like, oh, it's all, irritated. And then
I'm
you
just
keep going.
reframing it as a great ab workout because I got
Yeah,
some abs
sure.
of steel at this point.
Yeah.
My back is really it's core. My core is strong.
Yeah. I was like held at arm's length by a lot of people in January, like late January and most of February of 2020. because I had gone to a sort of international meeting conference sort of thing, the company I was working for in Europe, and came back with, it took a while to get it properly diagnosed. It turns out I had a bronchial infection and a sinus infection at the same time, and treating one would exacerbate the other. And so I would have these massive coughing fits. I would have coughing fits where I would cough so hard that if I was standing up, I would fall over. And if I was lying down and didn't catch it in time to like pull up my legs, I would throw out my back.
Wow.
And everyone thought it was COVID because no one knew what COVID was, but they knew it was in the news.
Right.
And like
And they knew
everyone,
you'd been
oh my God, stay
overseas.
away. Right? And I was like, I don't think it's COVID. I mean, it could be COVID. There were some people from China there at the time. Turns out I've never had COVID.
Me either.
I don't know why I've never had COVID, but I've never had
Right.
COVID. Both of my kids have had COVID while they were living with me, and my wife and I still haven't gotten it.
And you still survived.
Yeah.
Did you keep them
Well,
in the
Jim-
basement? Did you keep them in the basement when they had COVID?
No,
Lost them in the way, up in the attic.
you're gonna get it at some point. But
I
no,
guess that-
I ended up. It took me months and months and months to get over that. But finally, someone realized that I have, both a bronchial infection and a sinus infection at the same time, and to stop treating it. The way to get over it was basically just to stop treating it.
Yeah, let your body figure it out.
Right, because there really weren't a lot of options for treating one without affecting the other, because they're both breathing, right?
Right.
But
So,
speaking of genius social media, there the reason I asked you that is
what do we got to look at?
We had a friend who her daughter did get COVID, and her husband and she were free of it, but they kept her in her room, and her room happened to be, I guess they lived in a split level, and her room was in the basement. So they kept throwing stuff up and down the stairs, or whatever when she needed something, and they made videos of it, and it was a riot. I wish I knew where they were right now because it's absolutely hysterical. Yeah. So that's why I had to ask. Did you keep her in the basement?
No. Do you guys have like something to show, something you noticed that's interesting?
I don't have anything to show. I have a question that I think
ma'am.
might be fun to ponder, which is choosing between text only and graphics and or videos. I notice on LinkedIn especially, my text only content gets broader distribution but less interaction. And my graphic heavy stuff gets better interaction but crap distribution. So but that's algorithm talk, right? And so I've been more biased towards the graphics because I want interaction with my audience, and I think it's a better way to communicate or to have both.
What's an example? Like, can you share a tab or share your screen and show us something that you posted?
Yes.
I mean, this from a guy who virtually posts nothing ever, other than these videos, I guess.
Just pull up some of my posts. Let's see, window. All right, you have to help me share the screen, I think. There we go. So, so today's post, I have a graphic, and you get a little bit of text to show, and then the see more. And I write too much, which is another one of my questions. How long to go? But you'll see that your typical graphic plus text, and when you go into a general scroll, these stand out, which is why I started to do it, because if you have text only, it's just basically the little part. So so here's one I did on social post. So this is a screenshot, so less attention grabbing, that kind of thing. But you can see, I'm getting like 300. I have about 1,400 followers, 1,400 followers. And I'm getting maybe 300 impressions, 200 impressions, so not a ton. I get nothing for our lives. I don't know why. We talk about
that looks familiar
stuff, right? And then I got 3,000 on this one because I tagged some thought leaders, and so I got broader distribution. But my my engagement really stayed pretty similar. I thought a few more comments and all of that, but it was really pretty similar. But I've been experimenting the past, I'd say about a month, with playing with the graphics, and I'm getting mostly connection and interaction from my first level connections. And so my strategy right now is is really to do outreach to build my following, tagging thought leaders when it's appropriate to try to get some distribution that way, and then really I'm just posting for my followers, my current
Right.
followers.
Mhm.
So I have a question about this,
Mhm.
or possibly, well, yeah, it's like a understanding the framing. I'm hearing an echo, by the way. If you guys are not, then it's fine. But
Not.
so in all of whenever we talk about outreach, right, there's a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum is marketing, and the other end of the spectrum or the other end of the flavoring of outreach is sales, right, or prospecting. So in marketing, you're trying to reach as many people as possible, but understanding the trade-off of that is it's not personal, it's barely personalized or not personalized, and you're it's the very first tiny half of a baby step of making people aware that you exist, and understanding that you're going to need many, many touch points. They're going to have to see you many, many times before they feel like there's any sort of connection or you're worth getting closer to. And the other end of the spectrum on that for outreach is sales and prospecting, where you're targeting individuals. And where with marketing, you might want to be exposed to thousands or millions even. With sales prospecting, there's really no point doing that. Like, in case any of it ever worked, you'd be overwhelmed and couldn't even reply to people. And the reply from you is the whole point. The reply from them is what you're trying to get. And then the reply from you is the critical part that starts the sales, that starts a deal getting closed at some point. Now, there's nothing wrong with either approach. And there are marketing-based companies and there are sales-based companies. But as I, keep going through my social media successes and failures and trying to, the year 2022 is my year of designing the business around myself instead of trying to do everything or do things that I don't want to do or are not good at or whatever. And that seems to have, the echoing seems to have been fixed by not sharing the screen. I'm not sure. Good old Restream. It's always an adventure for what you get from Restream.
Sometimes it happens, you never know where it comes from. I think it's funny, Heather, you brought up this question because one of the things that we've been experimenting a lot with is on TikTok and on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube Shorts is using the text and stickers and everything with the videos. And it's really kind of interesting in the video side of things. I can put something up, just a straight video, and get all kinds of traction to it. And sometimes it does better than something that I've put text with or a graphic or some kind of sticker or anything like that. It's really kind of both ways. I've seen some stuff take off one way and some stuff take off the other way. So I've never really found a clear answer on it. One thing I do know that if we do really, really short videos, and we'll go through and we'll use the transcription side of it, and it'll force people to read it a couple times to really, because they're trying to read along with the video, and they end up playing like 3-4 times. So in those cases, we do seem to get a little more traction with those because they have to go through and read them a couple times, unless we make it too complicated and we annoy them because we make them read it, like 6 or 7 times. And then it kind of can go the other way. So there is that little happy medium.
Yeah.
In those.
Well, to me, if you're on your own, if you're like a single person company or a very small company, right? You need to pick an approach. You're going to do it through marketing and reaching a lot of people over and over, or hopefully a lot of the same people, or you're going to do it through prospecting by reaching out to individual people and trying to get some kind of connection going. You don't, as a single or a very small company, single person, you don't have the resources, let alone time, to do both all the time, right? No. And just like in life, the middle of the road is the most dangerous part of the road.
It is.
You don't want to stand there.
Well, I feel like for solopreneurs, especially as you're starting out, in theory, right? Especially if you're like a consultant or somebody who has some contacts, right? You're going to get all of your business from your contacts in the beginning, but you start your social media, you start your digital presence, you start whatever your funnel is going to be for inbound. That you start that now because you have to build an audience before, unless it depends on how you can prospect. And LinkedIn is great for really prospecting.
Yes.
But for the kind of flow that I'm looking at is marketing first to build a large enough audience to
Mhm.
get word of mouth, social proof, all that kind of good stuff.
Mhm.
If I want to be on a podcast, people are like, how many followers do you have? And I'm like 300. Yeah, that's, makes that journey a little tougher. So I
It's
like
over
the marketing up front, and then you learn your lessons and you learn what people like, and you get all that feedback and all that good stuff. And it's market research, because you see what works and what doesn't. And then you get a big enough pool of people that you can niche down and get to that target, to that really like ideal client, right?
Yeah.
But if you niche down too fast, you have 3 ideal clients following you, as
Yeah.
opposed to, and nobody to spread the word to say, oh, I know somebody, you should talk to somebody. So I like this. I'm in the marketing phase to get numbers up, to get that larger, kind of bigger audience together. And from
Mhm.
there, people are starting to move down to middle of the funnel, and I will serve people who aren't my ideal clients for
Sure.
now, because it's early. And
Yeah.
then as I have a bigger audience, I can say, and my funnel is full and I have plenty of work with my ideal clients, then I can start referring the not ideal people to other colleagues that, are a good fit.
I
And
bet most
so
of
it
the
goes
audience
marketing and then into sales and
I
prospecting.
bet most of the audience and most of the people who ever watch this in the future do not know what you sell. You individually, Heather. That's what I
Well,
mean.
I'm not here to sell. I mean, I'm not in this
Well, you can
area
say
to
what you
sell.
do.
Okay, well, I work with solopreneurs to launch or pivot and to move into that marketing phase. And I do that digital inbound. And we'll talk a little bit about, what your outreach looks like on the side and that kind of thing. But I have a
Yeah.
solopreneur community, and we do boosting of each other's posts and masterminds and things like that. So I work with a lot of different solopreneurs. We're a pretty small, tight-knit community, but I work with solopreneurs on the kind of that initial, what does it look like? And some people are beginners, and some people are like, I've been posting for a year, but different places, and what that strategy looks like, what the funnel looks like, and really focus on return on investment, because you're one person. So like you said, if you're one person, you can't do marketing and sales at the same time. So when do you do what, and when do you cross over? All this
Or
kind of
even if you do have to do
strategies.
both, one of them gets most of your attention and the
Right.
other one is a necessary evil, and you're trying to push down the amount of time and push down the cost of it as low as you can get it while
Right.
still getting some done.
Yep.
Basically. Yeah. So I'm sort of on the opposite end of that, right? I mean, if you counted every outbound message I sent, every connection request, every message with a PDF or a booklet or a giveaway or an invitation to an event, right? I'm posting thousands of times a month, but it's not public. It's all like point casted to individuals,
Mm.
Right.
and that's where almost all of mine is. Pretty much the marketing I do is on stuff like this.
Yeah.
In this video.
Me too, for the most part.
Yeah.
Most of my marketing is all through video, or we're starting a new podcast. So
Oh yeah.
we are. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about that in a second. So Heather, you just said something that's absolutely true, maybe truer than you knew, or you probably already knew it, is that because one of the outlets that this is going out to is LinkedIn Live, you're right in that we have no rules for this podcast, but technically you cannot sell on a LinkedIn Live event. Like you cannot say, so like if you want to buy this, the price is blah, blah, blah,
And come here.
blah, 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 you can't do it.
Mm.
It's one of the 2 weird rules. Given that LinkedIn is, a business platform, you'd expect to be able to say what you sell and the cost and stuff. John, can you mute your mic? See if it helps.
Yeah.
We had trouble with John's mics before. I think that might have fixed it.
That's helpful.
So much better. Sorry, John. So yeah, you're right in that the sort of the 2 weird rules you have around LinkedIn Live is A, you cannot sell anything during a LinkedIn Live event, and B, you cannot talk about LinkedIn Live in a LinkedIn Live event like this one.
Really?
Like,
What are they going to
really,
do? Like
in the rules.
turn off this video? They're going to block it?
I don't think they're going to care, but you can't, like, for instance, there's a reason you virtually never see any videos on LinkedIn Live telling you how to use LinkedIn Live, tips and tricks for LinkedIn Live, hacks for getting what you want from LinkedIn Live. Like, you don't see any of that stuff because it violates terms of service.
Weird.
I don't know why. I mean, YouTube lets you make videos about YouTube, and Facebook lets you make videos about Facebook.
Right. Well,
But
you'd assume they'd
LinkedIn,
want you to use the service and use it effectively, so it seems
yeah,
counterintuitive. But when I started using LinkedIn Live, I was one of the earlier people granted access. I don't know
yeah,
why, but I was, and I started using it, and it tanked all of my distribution, not just for the LinkedIn Lives that I promoted, but the rest of my posts. Like I was getting 1,000 impressions on most of my posts. Now I'm down
sure.
to 300 and working my way back up. It tanked everything. And I was interviewing some people and they were like, yeah, I'm sharing that stuff. And it's not, I'm sharing our LinkedIn Live and it's not getting any distribution compared to my other posts. So
Weird.
I mean, I stopped doing it. It was bad for business. Even though it was, good for clients, I can find a different way to do that. But it was just like, it was baffling to me. But
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why they've been in the video business for years, and you can't even do something basic like find a post that includes a video, or find a video,
right.
or search for a video. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. But it is what it is. Let's see. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to bring up was it was kind of great that you just talked about how, like, on the marketing type of side, end of the spectrum, you're helping, uh, you know, solopreneurs and small businesses on that end of it. Because I've only just, and so I got to be careful because I guess I'm not allowed to talk. I'll talk about what I do, but I've only just started productizing my services and sort of like the whole tech stack and labor stack that I do for my prospecting. And now I'm doing it for clients.
Yeah.
Like it's like a bigger package than just booking me for X number of, this job or this number of hours like I normally sell. And I'm very comfortable selling blocks of hours. I was a software developer and a project manager for many, many, many years. I'm really good at estimating how long it's going to take me to do X and Y and Z. But yeah, I just started like productizing it, sort of similar to what you do, except I'm on the other end of it. I'm on the prospecting side and showing them and building my prospecting system for them, as opposed to, help basically replicating your outreach and marketing and content marketing effort for your clients.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Well, now when I'm done with my folks and they have a nice big fat audience, I'll send them your way.
there you go. And so that's also why, for instance, that like the number of first level connections I have on LinkedIn is far more important to me than, how many people see a post that I put up.
Yeah.
Right, adding more people all the time and growing that. I mean, you can only grow it to, I think, around 30,000 max on LinkedIn. But I mean, it's not an accident that for every one person, every Facebook friend I have, and I hardly ever use Facebook, for every, I have almost a 1 to 100 ratio. So for every one person on Facebook, I have 100 people on LinkedIn.
Yeah. LinkedIn has a better way it has it built in to connect. Otherwise, it's, I followed you. Would you follow me back? It's not the same kind of ask, right? Like
Right.
it just
I'm
becomes
also
a
not
little
interested in
awkward.
followers at all.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care.
Well, I like the followers for the social proof at this point and for word of mouth, but I look at anyone who follows me and I look at their job
I don't
description,
know how
their
many
little title.
followers I have on LinkedIn.
Well, anyone you connect with becomes a follower by default.
So I have
So it'll be more
6,300
than
of
that.
them, 6,400 of them by default.
It'll be more than that. But yeah, but I look at whoever follows me and I look at their job title and or their byline, whatever you want to call it. And
Right.
if it's in my industry, if it's in marketing and entrepreneurship, then I will send them a connection request, thank them for following me, and ask them to connect.
Okay.
The folks who are seem unrelated, super happy to have them as followers, but I'm not going to want to do business with them down the line. They'll be the people who spread the word, like the post, social proof, all of that. But I want to be sure as I'm searching my connections and working so I'm thinking about what my connections look like down the road when I move from marketing far more into sales and prospecting. And I want those connections to be a pile of people who are probably more, so larger audiences, anybody in marketing and entrepreneurship. Down from that are solopreneurs and small business people who are interested in content marketing or who might need content marketing in the future, that kind of thing. So hard to tell from that old byline, but most small business people who are on social media and following somebody are probably interested in content marketing. So even if they don't know what content marketing is. So that's the pool of people that I want to be able to pull from, prospect, and push down into that ideal client bucket where there's purchasing happening.
That sounds great. So, oh, by the way, John, come off mute, man. It's like, it's okay. Just because your mic is wonky doesn't mean.
Really? Actually, I think it's my son. He's talking in the other room, so you might be hearing. Are you hearing?
No,
that?
it's like a squelchy kind of microphony noise.
That's
It's
so
a
weird.
It's a
microphone.
lot of
Hmm. I usually don't have microphone problems. It's very odd. I don't know. Anyways, it's all good. So,
You're definitely on the marketing side, it seems.
yeah,
As
me,
The one to point casted prospecting side.
right? Because I mean, I started out as a marketing consultant. I started out working for companies in marketing, engineering, and research, and all of that. So, you and I actually kind of have similar backgrounds in some ways.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of the product marketing and technical marketing stuff before I became an entrepreneur. So
And instead of veering into entrepreneurship, I veered into sales,
exactly. Well, we all veered into sales. Is kind of the way things
like
work.
commercial enterprise sales.
At
And
the
then
end,
left that, go back into marketing and sales
yeah,
enablement. And then from there.
I'm kind of a little bit in both because I've always been in like the marketing and sales side of things. I always had to go and do demos to clients, and even to this day, I still do demos of software and demos of different things. So occasionally you see me on YouTube demoing this or that. So that's never changed. So you want to ask me something about my podcast?
Yeah, like what's it called and what's it about? This is the first I've heard of it.
Oh, you didn't? I told you about it last week. I said you've got to come and be a guest.
Did you what's it about?
It's called RV Goodness. So I decided it's time to dig into my passion projects, which is RVing. And so my wife and I travel all around in our RV all over the place. And we had decided this year that it was a good time to focus on the people who work mobily, which I do quite frequently as I'm out and about. And so it's really about people who have positions or work remotely or work in social media or agency work or that kind of thing, or have positions that can be remote. And so those are the types of people that we'll be interviewing, and people who are actually doing it on the road and people who can actually help them. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I work remotely from the road. So
I
keep me in
know.
mind.
So there you go. You do work remotely from the road. Now that I didn't know yet.
Yeah, I do. I really want to get that Starlink RV for our trailer.
John has that.
Yeah. So that's on the list. Jim,
Heather's
my
going
partner
to
Jim,
have to be a guest.
yeah, he just
Yeah.
refurbished his grandfather's 1960s little tin can trailer, which is fabulous. We took it on its maiden voyage, and I'm definitely signing up for Starlink RV next summer.
I got Starlink RV. Love it so far.
Nice. And then we'll take like a month and go somewhere to scuba dive, and I've taken work with me there. That's not so much on
What's
the road.
the difference between Starlink IV and regular Starlink?
So Starlink RV is that you can take it on the road with you really easily, and it's all set up to travel with. I actually have Starlink Home.
What do you
but
mean?
I just use it with my RV.
The container is different and it's ruggedized. It's
No,
later,
really no difference between. I don't think there's really a difference between the dish or anything at all. It's really all set up for roaming. So it's all about like where you are, and they'll give you as much bandwidth as they can. I'm set up for home, but I use it with my RV, so I just pay for the roaming for the month when I'm actually out on the road. So I just keep it for like an extra internet at home, or when I'm out running around doing stuff mobilely nearby. So Starlink is a pretty slick little product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although a lot of people, it's got its intricacies that many people don't know a lot about, and I've figured out a lot of that's the tech me. I figured out a lot of its intricacies. So,
nice. Well, I'll be calling when I get mine set up.
Well, I'm here for you.
We have to go soon. We have to go soon. So I like getting things as simple as possible. And over the last few weeks, I think I've boiled down marketing to just this. That's it. The problem is you have no idea, and I need to tell a lot of people, you have no idea how many people it is. And you might never know how many people it is. But it's not dozens.
No.
It's probably thousands.
You know when your pipeline's full. I mean,
Yeah.
but you don't know till you get there. It's not like I need to get to X thousands. It's what does
Right.
that pipeline look like? And so, and if you don't
You
have a
don't know what
pipeline built, speaking to solopreneurs out there, if you don't have all those steps built, like you won't be able to tell until you have all those steps to get to the,
Yeah.
if you have social media and a $5,000 coaching package, you don't have a complete funnel. You don't have all the
No.
steps that you need. So you need to be building out those steps in the middle while you build up your audience here on the social media or podcasting world or wherever your top of funnel stuff is.
Yeah.
Sure.
You have to tell a lot of people you exist. A lot of people need to know that.
Yeah.
A lot of them are never going to be interested. And a lot of them, a smaller group, but still many of them are going to be interested, but not right now. But they need to know you exist so that a year or two from now, you come to mind, especially if you can find a way to sort of get in front of them every so often.
Yep. Yeah, that top of funnel are people who will tell their friends who are looking for what you're offering. So you want to be really clear and they're interested.
Yeah.
That middle of funnel are people who are potential clients at some point in the future. They might need education. A lot of mine would be, I work with solopreneurs who are doing their own content marketing. What's content marketing would be what a lot of solopreneurs would say. So I can't be blah, blah, content marketing, because I won't attract the right people. Because those people in the middle, they might not know they need it yet. And then from there, I get my clients. And so it's like, if you don't have something for everybody along those steps of the way, then people, you get those coaches out there, those consultants out there are like, I'm posting on social media like crazy and I'm not making any more money. And it's like, that's not the end point. That's the starting point. So, what's next? Where's your newsletter? Where are your lead magnets? Where are those, ask me anythings and all of those great things that come down to getting somebody to that purchase point. So.
Right. You can't ask somebody to marry you. You got to start with coffee first.
Yeah. Some people will jump right into marriage. I'm not saying don't have that out there. Have that $5,000 coaching package on your website. Some people are ready. Like, let's go. But yeah, for sure.
I always like that analogy.
The dating. Yep. Oh, look at the time.
That's Social Content Tuesday. So we're done. And tomorrow is Website Wednesday again.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.